Hi my dear students, this is Jayashree Venkatachalam, who is from Sri Narayana Guru College of Commerce, Chembur, Mumbai. In this video, I am going to talk about capital market reforms and new economic policy in 1991. In my earlier videos, I had already discussed regarding the background of new economic policy in 1991, new economic policy and industrial sector reforms, new economic policy and financial sector reforms. Now I am going to talk regarding the capital market reforms and new economic policy 1991. We know that capital market is the place where funds are borrowed and lent for long term. So this is a market where money is borrowed and lent for long term purposes. So basic changes have to be introduced here because liberalization, privatization and globalization opens the doors of the economy and invites a lot of foreign capital to the country. So when foreign capital comes to the country in the form of FDI, it is very essential that our capital market should be capable enough to meet the flow or the waves of globalization and privatization. As the first step, SEBI has been made as a statutory body. You are very well aware that Security Exchange Board of India, SEBI, this was set up in 1988 and it became a statutory body in 1992. The basic role of SEBI is to regulate the working of stock exchange and mutual funds. The main reason why the SEBI has been set up immediately after 1991 is we know that Indian stock markets were affected by various scams, and the most significant scam is 1991 capital market scam of Harshad Mehta and 1998 capital market scam of Ketan Parekh, and more than 1,000 crores. There were scams amounting to 1,000 crores. When it has come to Ketan Parekh, it has gone even up to 40,000 crores. Insider trading, then creating issues with the balance sheet, then making use of the influencing the bank's directors, and all this type of problems were happening in capital market because there was no transparency in the capital market. So SEBI has been appointed to supervise and regulate the working of stock market. Then we know that capital market is having two segments. One is primary market and other is secondary market. Those who are new or just who are in the TYBCom, you should know that primary market is the market where shares of the new companies will be listed. Secondary market is the market where shares of the existing company will be listed. So companies which are allowed to determine the par value of the shares issued by them. And SEBI has also decided or made clear the rules for IPO, initial public offer. Earlier there was controller and capital and controller of capital issue. There was an organization or there was an office, but that office could not do much during the period of the scams. So it is now decided that initial public offer, the IPOs will be, the rules of the IPOs have to be fixed and more freedom is given in the market. It means investors' awareness and the knowledge of the investor is very important before going for any initial public offer. So primary market is dealing with IPOs. For example, if I wanted to buy 10 shares of Reliance Industry, I will not be approaching primary market. I will be approaching secondary market because Reliance is already an established company in the secondary market. Suppose that I wanted to buy some shares of Reliance Jio. At present it is not possible. Then when they are going to come out with their share issue, it will be IPO. So that will be coming in the primary market. Now, SEBI has also introduced online trading and demat accounting. We know that demat account means electronic transfer of shares. Earlier in India, there was a physical share certificate which was getting circulated, which has created complex and issues in the capital market. So SEBI has introduced online trading. That is, what is the advantage of demat account? Demat account means it is a paperless trading. The shares will be credited to the account and demat account will operate just like the saving bank account. So that there will not be any physical transfer of shares, and this can reduce the time, cost, and capital market operations become more open and transparent. SEBI also introduced rolling settlement. My dear students, rolling settlement has been introduced in the year 2000. I will explain what is rolling settlement. Trading time has been reduced to T plus 2. T stands for trading days. So at present we are having T plus 2. That means if I buy a share today is my T day, trading day, plus 2 more days. Suppose today is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Wednesday evening, the share will be credited to my account. Rolling settlement means when I order for the purchase of a share through a broker, I have to make the payment the day when I am ordering my shares. That means I cannot order the share, then I can sell the share and I can do the set off, which was happening in the earlier trade market system. That means we were having 21-day cycle. So what the people used to do, especially brokers and all, they used to buy the share and within 21 days they will sell the share. So there was no question of investment during these 21 days, and this was creating a lot of scams in the market. So as per the international standard, India has also gone for rolling settlement. That means if you are going to buy the share in the share market, there should be sufficient cash with you. Then only you can make the payment. And no cash transaction is allowed. Everything was controlled through the check. So the present trading system is T plus 2. Again I am repeating, T is the trading day plus 2 days. This will be excluding public holidays, Saturday and Sunday. We know that Saturday and Sunday market will not be working. Similarly on the public holidays. Then, as the part of the reforms, investment by the FIIs has been allowed. FII stands for Foreign Institutional Investors. Foreign Institutional Investors. We know that we have opened the economy, as similarly even capital market is subjected to opening. So FIIs can invest in Indian market in two forms. One as an FDI, other as an FPI. Foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment. As far as the capital market is concerned, it is more in the form of foreign portfolio investment. Then now you are reading in the newspaper, Sensex, which is representing the Bombay Stock Exchange, Nifty, which is representing the National Stock Exchange. You are always reading Sensex is touching 35,000, 36,000, Nifty is touching 15,000. The share market is shooting up. The main reason is we are having lot of foreign funds. The flow of foreign funds is very high in the Indian capital market. What is the reason? Comparing to the international investment scenario, Indian capital market is giving a quick return. So if we are analyzing the FII into FDI and FPI, we can see that major chunk of the money is coming into the capital market in the form of portfolio investment. But remember, SEBI as well as our government, they are also equally careful to see that they are not coming as the short-term investors. Otherwise, what will happen? They are coming with huge chunk of investment. Let us say they are coming here to invest for 6 months. 6 months they make sufficient profit. Then if they go back to their own country, we will not be able to bear that flow because there will be outflow of capital. So government and Reserve Bank is very particular that investment is not for short term. And remember, today FDI or FII play a very important role in India's capital market, because Indian investors, we cannot buy in huge quantities as these FDIs or FIIs. India may, even you take the case of LIC or any financial institution, they cannot buy in huge quantities like foreign institutional investors. Then in 2000, even derivative trading was introduced. We know that derivative trading is dealing with future and options. There are two segments in the market. One is the spot trading, other is the future and option. So the derivative, there are 4 equity derivatives, that is stock option, stock future, index future, index option. In general, this itself is so voluminous, it can go for a separate discussion. So generally options and future and options. This they will be buying or they will be considering the future and they will be investing. That is known as derivative trading. Stock in the spot market, they will be buying for the current scenario. This year purchase and sale take place for the future. Then National Stock Exchange has been set up in 1992 and it became operational in the year 1994. But we should be quite proud to say that today National Stock Exchange is number 2 in the world next to New York Stock Exchange. Though it is a young baby who was born in 1994, the growth of the baby is very, very fast and she made us to proud before the world. And another advantage of NSE is fully computerized and everything is maximum they are trying for paperless trading, and there is a very good transparency and accountability. So now there is NSE, whose head office is at Bandra Kurla Complex, Mumbai, and there is BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange. Similarly, there are other regional stock exchanges in the country. Then in order to make the capital market work in a smooth manner, SEBI government has also decided to set up National Security Clearing Corporation. NSCC was set up in 1996. What is the objective of this NSCC? The basic objective is it is guaranteeing all the trade which is happening in National Stock Exchange. So that what is the advantage? Since the guarantee is coming from an authorized institution, there is no risk of failure of trade and there will not be any payment crisis, because India has seen how the payment crisis happens when the scam take place in the stock market. So we are learning from the experience and now we are making our system foolproof so that there will not be much chances for failure and there will not be chances for payment crisis. Yes, my dear students, so I have covered almost all the segments of New Economic Policy 1991. In the coming video, we will be covering the other sectors like agriculture, service sector and foreign exchange. Hi, thank you, bye.